In this video, let's talk about Wooden Camera's new Sony Venice 2 rig. All right, real quick, you're watching Video Brand. Special thanks to our sponsors for making this NAB coverage possible. Massive, Metricool, Adspective, Vestigit, and OpenReel. All right, back to the video. All right, what's up? I'm here with Dominic from Wooden Camera, and Dominic, you're gonna go over, got a new rig here.
Yeah, so here at NAB, we're debuting our Sony Venice 2 Elite camera system. We've done a lot of changes. The look and feel of Wooden Cameras changed quite a bit over the last 2 years as we are evolving. In this kit in particular, I tried very hard to actually think of as many different shooting options that the camera would be placed in and try to adapt accessories around those needs. For instance, in this case, we had feedback that we wanted to have as low center of gravity on the camera as possible when you remove it from a studio base. So while still maintaining the rod set, we actually have a very low center of gravity base plate sitting on a riser plate. And under that is actually an arc of dovetail. So it sits on a riser, on this little riser. There's an arc of safety, arc of dovetail on the base plate. Now we actually have dual rod clamps and we have a long base plate. This allows for rods to actually extend all the way through the system, giving the user two different locations to lock the rods if they're using lens remote motors, right? Prevents them from the rods from twisting. This camera, being as versatile as it is, allows you to pull the sensor block off and move it into the Rialto mode. Everybody's quite familiar with that. Because most manufacturers make a block that's very small, you end up having to remove the block in order to access to two screws on the bottom of the camera in order to change it to that mode. We actually have two access points, so now you can actually remove those two screws without having to remove the base plate. We also have a hiding location where you can tuck those two screws in so you don't lose them, and they're in the system, so when you have to put the system back to normal, the screws are right there for you. We also built a cage system so we can have side rails that do not attach to the base plate or to the top plate. They're independent. Now, that's important for a couple reasons. Number one is if I run a gimbal mode, you're going to want to reduce the size of the camera by removing the base plate and putting on the gimbal base. Once you do that, you lose these rod centers. So we made an accessory that actually allows us to bolt this right onto the faceplate of the camera, so you still have the rod attachments in the gimbal mode. The faceplate cage actually utilizes the 4 screw points that hold the sensor block into place. So you take those 4 screws out and you bolt this cage into place. It gives a strong access point, right? It's securing the sensor block into place. And now we have the tightest cage around the face of the camera that you can get. There are 3/8 with anti-twist pin locations across the front. There are 2 of them right at the very top that are 60 millimeters apart. And in this case, we actually have the viewfinder mounted to 2 bolt-on rods on that. So this viewfinder is not mounted to the top plate at the moment. We also have a 19 mil rod with 2 motors attached to it on the other side. This allows for motors to hang off of the faceplate and not twist on them, right? It's a good iris motor location. There are tape hooks on the back of this faceplate. These actually unscrew and you just tilt them out, and now you have tape hooks. And then we're using DLC coated stainless steel rosettes. And DLC stands for diamond-like carbon. It's a coating that can be applied to stainless steel that gives it that nice black finish, but it's also anti-corrosion and wear resistant. The camera also comes with a dovetail built onto the camera. And no manufacturer to date has utilized that dovetail. Even Wooden Camera in the past had built top plates that actually bolt to the top of the camera. What I really wanted to do in this case is actually utilize that dovetail. And in that process, that also gave me the lowest center of gravity. So if we put our camera next to other camera builds, our handle is actually in the lower position, but we still maintain the proper clearance to get your hand into it. This actually is utilizing that dovetail, which means that I can slide all of the accessories off the top of this camera, right, in one swoop. So if you can imagine a setup where you're in studio mode and have to get inside of a car, in the back seat of the car, because now you have an over-the-shoulder shot of the driver, you have to remove everything off the top of that camera. Instead of using tools to reduce all of that stuff, I can actually unlatch this, quick safety, and the whole thing slides right off the top. The Ultra handle design is a new carry handle that we're also releasing on this. It's utilizing the design that I helped with Panavision back when I worked with them in 2013, and the wooden camera design. So we've added the wood, just like wooden camera did. A lot of the wood dimensions and everything are the same as that, but I've changed it now that we have a 1-inch, 3-inch, a 5-inch, and a right angle position, which is pretty standard. But at this particular point, I can now configure the handle in any 1-inch configuration, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
all
6.
of these are like adjustable? Or
Yes.
is it-
Well, they're not adjustable. They're
modular?
they can be modular, so they
Right.
just get replaced. So we also added a color ring in between each one of those. The way the handles are built allows for you to use a simple little ring that pops in between each thing. So you can identify the camera, whether it's A camera, B camera, C camera.
Right, I see there you got a bunch of different color options, so you could color identify your
Exactly.
camera's great. Okay.
So the way the handle is built in this case, it's actually built in a configuration that is current, like older wooden camera stuff. So this will work on current and older wooden camera top plate designs. But we also have a system that is more universal, so the uprights actually bolt to 3/8/16 mount points. And then in the future, we'll have other uprights to mount to other types of configurations. So it's truly an ultra carry handle system because it can conform into just about any configuration that you can think of.
So is this handle kind of new, being released now?
Yes. So the
but
first
it
version
can
of this,
be-
it comes with the Venice stuff, and then the universal stuff will come out at a slightly later date. And then we have other versions of that released throughout the year.
Okay.
Sorry,
That's all right.
tongue-tied from a long day. So that gives you a kind of a full kind of breakdown of all those types of features on that. You know, now that you know that the cage can transfer over to the Rialto and so on,
Yeah.
it is a pretty well thought out camera system.
Yeah, it really molds to the body and takes advantage of it.
Yeah.
It's all being sold as one cage or modular parts?
So
Or one
modular parts, so
configuration?
you can buy the base plate separate, the face plate separate, and top plate separate, and handles separate, and all of that is in kits themselves. So like the top plate comes with accessories. There's a front rod bracket. There's a secondary rod bracket in the back that you can attach to the back for people that would like to run longer rods, again, when they're using like a Light Ranger or other focus assist and they need a longer set of rods. And then the top plate also has other accessories. So on the other side of the plate, we actually have a bolt-on cheese plate, or it can be replaced with a bolt-on Velcro plate.
Okay.
And this sits right over the connector block from our D-Box.
Okay.
So all of those things break down into kits, right? Individual kits, and they can be purchased individually without all the added accessories.
Okay, cool. Where can people find out more information?
You can find it all on woodencamera.com.
All right, well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks for watching the video. For more of our NAB videos, be sure to check out our playlist with all the videos right here, and be sure to hit the subscribe button for more cool videos like this. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode.